just to sort of wrap this bit.
Yeah.
I tend to feel there's sort of a framework to think of how to consider your health. And I don't know if there's one that you can recommend. Because I used to imagine, like, just thinking back to the COVID times, when they would tell us, lock yourself in your house, don't come out, don't. I felt they were giving us the wrong message, the message that was going to make us weak. Because I felt the healthy option is to be out in the elements, sucking the sun. There's also that principle that is like when kids are growing up, they don't become stronger by putting them in a bubble wrap. They sort of become stronger when you put them in dirt, when they interact more with the viruses. I mean, that seems so clear to me, and I can imagine why people would imagine, yes, being isolated, being in this sterile environment, in the immediate term, it might seem like the best safe option. But when you think about deeper, it is actually the opposite. So is there a way that people should think of health? Not being so prescriptive, but sort of a guiding principle of how do I navigate aspects of my health? I know some things might be very specific because of a certain illness and ailment that you might have, but how do I generally think of health?
Actually, I give out my guidelines for general health participants. I don't give out health to a diabetic patient. If healthy living is just healthy living, whether you're pregnant, you're diabetic, you have cancer, or you're healthy in quotes, it's for everyone. So basically, this is supposed to be done, bro. You identify what causes most conditions. You suppress it, and then you survive. So what I do is the number one cause of, because what we want is people to have a good immunity. If you have a good immunity, that is what I call healthy. Okay? So good immunity comes with good weight, lean weight for that matter. Don't be thin, be fat, lean weight. And how do you achieve this? Basically, you need to clean up your liver. And the only way to clean up your liver is through these foods. I tell people, eat foods, not because you've been told carbohydrates provides energy and proteins are bodybuilding and stuff. It's time to let that bullshit go. What you should do is, one, limit the amount of carbohydrates as possible. Why am I saying that, bro? From our history, we used to be hunters and gatherers, right? So there are no diseases. Why? Because you hunt today. If you don't get a catch, you will sleep hungry. That is fasting. Is you'll have to wake up tomorrow and run after another rabbit, because if you don't, you will starve to death. That is one. Number two, we used to gather fruits. And the reason why I'm saying fruits are not healthy is because then fruits were seasonal. So yes, they had fructose and it was not healthy, but they were seasonal. So there was a season for guavas, there was a season for avocados. So by the time that season comes, you do not have traces of that fruit in your system. Okay. Yeah, so if that season is not here, if there's not a mango season, then we will not eat mangoes. However, right now, fruits are always in season because of GMO. Yes. So fruits have no seeds. They cannot attract flies. They stay for longer without getting destroyed. And they are full of so appealing. So that is genetically modified fruit. And they have been made to be available for you to get sick, weak, and depressed. Period. Now, for carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates are only 6. Why? Because I concentrate on the complex carbohydrates rather than simple carbohydrates. So basically, carbohydrates is what we call sugars. These sugars divide them into 2, the simple and the complex. Now, the simple sugars are the ones that are dangerous. Why? Because they get absorbed faster, they're digested faster, and then they spike your blood insulin levels. That spiking all the time is the one that causes insulin resistance. And that is diabetes, that is obesity, that is cancer. So if we drop these simple sugars, we are safe. The other group is complex carbohydrates. These are fibers and starches. They're absorbed, they are digested slowly, they are absorbed slowly, and therefore the curve for insulin is a normal curve. Perfect. Then These complex carbohydrates are also foods for bacteria in your system. So they will help you feed the bacteria. And then after you feed the bacteria will give you vitamins, immunity, and proteins. Perfect. So that's why I'm saying concentrate on complex carbohydrates. And there are 6. Number 1 is sweet potatoes, and then arrowroots, and then butternuts, then pumpkins, and then green bananas, and then beans. So you can imagine your plate now without ugali, without rice, without chapati, and now you replace them with these 6. That will be a perfect carbohydrate meal. And then all sorts of proteins are perfect for your health. There is no relationship between or meat and eggs with the heart conditions or gout. It's a lie. It was a half research done by a student, and the professor took this research, published it, it was adapted, and then the major research came in later on, and it's not in the syllabus. So we have it in our minds because of the syllabus. And science is evolving. So basically, all sorts of proteins are healthy for you, be it red meat or white meat. Eat them in plenty, make them fatty, because that animal fat is very important for your health. It will help you absorb vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins A, B, E, and K. Also, it will give you cholesterol. You need cholesterol for your survival. Testosterone, every hormone, which is called steroid hormone, comes from cholesterol. That is testosterone, that is estrogen, progesterone. We see all these hormones coming from, and vitamin D, which comes from the skin. That is still cholesterol. So you need cholesterol for your cells and for your hormonal balance. And then vegetables are, some are high in fiber, so they are carbohydrates, and some are high in vitamins. So basically eat cruciferous vegetables, the likes of broccoli, spinach, cabbages and stuff, and fermented cabbage for that matter. So these are good foods for you. So basically just limit carbohydrates completely. Drop sugar, drop seed oils. Bro, for only 1 month, you'll start seeing the difference in your life, bro. And then adapt fasting, be it intermittent fasting or prolonged periodic fasts. Just adapt it. You can do possibly 2 meals a day every day. Then on Friday, you do 1 meal a day. And then once in a month, you can push yourself for maybe a 48 or 36-hour fast. You will never be the same person. You will see it. So basically, that is my guideline for a healthy life for anybody, be it a cancer patient. However, those cancer patients who have chronic cancer and tumors, big tumors, then you need a 21-day fast, just salt water and basically animal fat, and you'll be perfect. Why am I saying that? Cancer survives on 2 things: glucose, which is the end product of carbohydrate metabolism, and glutamine, which is an amino acid that is in all foods. So you cannot avoid glutamine. However, you can avoid glucose by just limiting carbohydrates. Then the body will instantly start breaking down fat to give you ketone bodies. And cancer cells cannot survive on ketone bodies, so they start dying. Tumors start being suppressed. And your body cells can survive on ketone bodies. Actually, ketone bodies are the best sources of energy for your brain and your cells. So you can imagine that, how effective is fasting. It's perfect. So that is it.
It's sad that this kind of knowledge is not in the medical profession. And again, these are the terms that actually clearly show medical profession. So these guys have just been trained. They have been trained in prescribing drugs more than, giving you health advice and being custodians of good health. But so, because this is very rare. I mean, I know you can probably attest to this across your profession, and we saw it even during COVID. I mean, how many doctors were really standing up against some of these things? It was actually more of the layman person, if so to put it, that could see clearly through all these things that were being marketed. But yeah, I mean, we can see that there's clearly a lot of corruption and that collusion that you have amongst agriculture, the food industry, media, and big pharma.